That's an excellent question. So how do we build trust online when we are in a context where there is such a big competition for our engagement, our intimacy, our attention, our money? I think one of the things that we can see in human relationships where there are high degrees of trust is that it has to be earned over time. You have to put your action where your words are, which means being clear on your values. It means being restrained when you need to. It means not taking shortcuts to make short-term profits when there is a longer-term cost. I think it's also about taking the time, and it's quite tricky now when everything feels like it's moving so fast. Whether it is another matter, but it's also about taking the time to find out actually what do people want? What are their needs, their hopes, their fears, their desires? So I think those qualities all inform how we can earn trust online. So ethics is an interesting one because ethics changes to an extent depending on the organizational culture, what the practices are, what the expectations are. So I think one thing that's really crucial is transparency. What are your ethics? What does that mean in terms of practical codes of conduct? If you say that you're not collecting people's data, do you have, for instance, double opt-in consent? Do you have the potential for customers to see what data you have on them? How are you prioritizing mutual benefit? So an example might be a company that I really like, and I say, actually, I would love to have more personalized information from you. Let me give you some data because you've earned my trust, and actually, I know that if I give you the data and you market to me personally, it's going to be mutually beneficial. So I think that the key things are informed consent, transparency, and practical examples of how they're enacting their values that they say that they care about. So I think these are really old qualities, and I think it's about, in a context where it's so easy to feel like there is no alternative but to perform that you're taking on AI or to keep up appearances and do what your competitors are doing. And I get it, there is so much pressure. For all of us, there's pressure. And I think one of the most powerful things you can do, which is one of the hardest things you can do, is to exercise some kind of pause for restraint, for reflection, looking at cycles that have happened historically, looking at human psychology which repeats itself. So thinking about all of the different hype bubbles, what happened with the dot-com boom. The internet is phenomenally useful, but there was a course correction in terms of what it could do and actually what it ended up being used for. And I think we're going through something at the moment with AI too. So having the chance within your organization to come together, maybe it's once a week for an hour, and to reflect, what did you read this week? How are you engaging with the headlines that you've read here or the tools that you've tested here? What's important to you? Reminding yourself again what matters most. And for me, the crucial thing is our inherent interdependence. And you can see that from two places at the moment. So on the one hand, you can think about AI and the revolution of how technology is entangled with so many of our systems, educational systems, governance systems, military systems, food production systems, global supply chains, finance, it's everywhere, or it's many, many places. And you can also think about our inherent entangled relationship with the biodiversity of life, of that which sustains us, which is the earth and all the beings on it, how we create stability. And what we need to do is find a way to enable these systems to operate in service to the flourishing of life. And at the moment, it feels like there's quite a strong dissonance between these two. And I'm very curious to hear how leaders in any field and industry are picking up the challenge to say, okay, how can we use AI and other technologies in service to the flourishing of life and to creating lives of dignity for all people with the problems that really matter. So that is the biggest challenge of our time. And there are some extraordinary people doing extraordinary work. So let's just see more of those, please.